Should be good, Dominic.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I want to welcome everybody to the Town Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for July 26, 2023. If everybody could rise for Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Noreen, if you're on, if you could do the roll call, please.
Chairman Payne,
Here.
Commissioner Claffey, Commissioner Haggerty,
Here.
Commissioner Havens,
Here.
Commissioner Linares,
Here.
Commissioner Trister,
Here.
Commissioner Woods,
Here.
Commissioner Droz, Commissioner Fox,
Here.
Commissioner Pasquarelli.
Here.
You're all set.
Okay, thank you very much. And we're going to sit Commissioner Fox for Commissioner Claffey. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Approval of the agenda. I'm assuming everything is okay. There's no
Yes.
changes to the agenda. The first thing, the next thing is public participation. If there's anybody from the public that would like to speak, you're welcome to come forward. Is there anybody online?
I don't believe so.
No one online.
Hearing none, we're going to move on to the zoning enforcement officer's report for June. Commissioners have it. There's quite a bit of work that Eric has done on this. Does any of the commissioners have any questions for our zoning enforcement officer?
Sure.
Certainly, go right ahead.
The Galaxy carpet, it's just a new 5 infractions in the last year. Is it a different person each time, kind of
It's
pretending that they're hearing it for the first time?
Roxanne Strickland, PR,
the same
H,
people.
QQL OCJM.
Okay.
It's the same manager, the same guy, yeah.
I don't know what you did say to him, but it seems like it's working because I haven't noticed them going back up. So,
They have not gone back up
yes.
recently, so.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. Any other questions from commissioners on any of the zoning enforcement officer's report? He was quite busy. 260 Stam Road, is that completed yet?
We took more cars out. He has one left at the highway garage that was involved in it. Been stolen twice, once in Bristol, once in Newington. Nobody appears to want it, so I'll probably just sign the DMV form and just junk it as abandoned.
Okay.
The town attorney still wants to do more enforcement there at some point.
Okay, very good. Okay, if there's no other questions, thank you very much, Eric. Great report. Next thing on the agenda is remarks by commissioners. If there's any remarks from commissioners. We have no public hearings tonight. Next thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes, of June 28th, 2023. Can I entertain a motion?
Motion made, Mr. Chairman.
Motion made by Commissioner Havens. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Trista. Any questions or comments? Any corrections? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, the first new business is an 8-24 referral for an easement over a portion of the municipal parking lot in the rear of 1042 Main Street. I'll turn this over to staff.
Okay, so this is a 824 referral. In conjunction with this, the applicant has also submitted a site plan. They're kind of part and parcel with each other. The site plan as designed cannot be accomplished without the easement. In the research on this, when it originally discussing with the applicant. The property map was discovered, the original map they had showed a larger area before the donation to the municipal parking lot. Subsequent mapping was discovered, and then their improvements as shown was discovered to have the ramp on town property. So the applicant is here to seek a easement to locate the ADA ramp onto the town property into an area that was previously donated to the town. There's additional improvements that the applicant will kind of go through. Just to remind the commission that 824 referral is a referral from the town council. You have 35 days from the official submission, which is tonight, to report back to the council, and you're reporting whether you recommend it or whether you do not recommend it. And from here, the applicant is here if you would like to hear kind of their presentation and what they plan to do to the building.
Thank you very much. Yeah, come forward, and if you could state your name for the record and explain to us what you're trying to achieve and what you're planning on doing would be a big help.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Peter Vernazis. I'm the owner of the commercial building at 1042 to 1046 Main Street. Just to give you some quick background, my family and I lived in Newington since 1967. I've owned and operated my floral business in town for over 40 years, since 1983. I'm here today to present my site plan for a new storefront and to seek an easement for part of our ADA accessibility ramp. I'm excited to announce that I'm subdividing my space and want to create a new storefront in the back of the building. I've been working with an architect over the past year to design the entrance, which will face the municipal parking lot. We wanted the new storefront to be functional and to enhance the back of our commercial building and also the municipal parking lot. In working with the architect, we had a few goals in mind when we set out to create our site plan. One was to create an attractive storefront and provide proper accessibility to comply with ADA requirements. Secondly, we wanted to create a complementary design to the surrounding area that would not interfere with any existing walkways. We also wanted our storefront to be proportional to the building so that it looked balanced and yet inviting and still comply with ADA requirements. We also wanted to retain some of the greenscape and retain an existing specimen tree in the back in order to help conceal the exhaust hood and other utility wires located on the back face of the building. It would help to soften the landscape. And lastly, to help further beautify the municipal parking lot by creating a fascia that was not only functional, but aesthetically pleasing to the eye and surrounding properties. As our process moved along, we were required to obtain a current survey for confirmation of property lines and elevations, and we found out that they were not where they were thought we were. And in order for us to comply with the ADA requirements, a portion of our ADA ramp and small corner of our stairs now fall on town property, which once belonged to the building. And let's see, over the years, as the town projects evolved, many property owners, past and present, who owned land surrounding the municipal lot and Main Street have given easement rights to their land to the town in order to create the municipal parking lot, the pedestrian walk-through, and front sidewalk and planters, and my building being one of them. My understanding is that the properties who gave these easements to the town for municipal improvements have some privileges for accessibility purposes. In order to comply with ADA requirements, we're asking the town to grant us a small easement for a portion of our ADA ramp and a corner of the stairs for accessibility purposes. I hope that you will consider in favor of our easement request and site plan to help move us forward in completing our new storefront. Creating a new storefront and expanding our rental units will only bring more tax revenues to the town down the road. I truly believe that the improvements I propose here would only enhance the municipal lot and town center. And I appreciate your time and consideration, and thank you. And if you have any questions at this time, I'd be happy to try to answer them for you.
Thank you very much. The staff has talked about if we grant the easement that you suggest some language about the maintenance and termination of the easement at some point. Could you go into that for the commissioners?
So this actually came from our new town engineer who has an extensive survey background. He's actually seen other easements that, well, no, first we'll talk about the maintenance. The maintenance, of course, if it is granted, an easement is granted, that, you know, the town would recommend that the maintenance is the store owner's maintenance. Well, yes, it's an easement to use the town's land to put this there, also that the store owner is required to, you know, maintain the surface, clear ice, clear snow, make sure it's safe, passable, and takes that on. The second part is actually and this is Chris video, our engineer, when he was talking about different easements that he's done in the past. There's language you can put in the easement that either A, if the building gets demolished, if the ramp gets demolished, if something gets changed, that the easement automatically expires. So this solves a problem that, you know, surveyors have and land title people have when they go through it, that you have an easement and there's nothing there, and where does it go? So it ties it to its specific purpose, that if it ever is removed, the easement is just extinguished automatically.
Only if the building is removed.
The building are removed, or if the ramp is removed.
Or a change of use or redesign, or maybe, you know.
Well, won't they, if it gets a change of use, won't they still need the easement though?
Yeah, and it's typically, if it gets removed or the building gets removed or there's redevelopment, it's just something to think about that clears up a potential title issue in the future and, you know, ties a bow on what happens.
I understand. Thank you. Does the commissioners have any questions for the applicant or staff? Steve?
Just really more comment, well, I guess it's a question. We're doing both together, but we didn't read in B. So should we read that into the record?
I
I think we have to vote on them separately, but we're kind of talking about them.
Yeah, I think we're gonna end up tabling the site plan until our following meeting after the council makes a decision on the first 824, but I'll read it into the minutes. You're absolutely right. So this will also be petition 12-23 site plan modifications to improve building access at 1042 Main Street. Applicant Peter Vanafis. So we're doing both of these at the same time. Was there anything else?
No, I think this is one of the things this municipal lot was designed for, you know, that we can accommodate these owners. They gave up some of their land so that we could improve parking back there, because all of us remember it was a nightmare back there for many, many, many years. And it's beautiful back there now. So I see no issue with this at all. I'm in favor with it. I actually like the idea. It's much cleaner if the ramp goes away, the easement goes away. So there is no confusion down the road on the land records. And it doesn't appear that the landowner has any issues with it at all.
All right, just bring up the architectural as well, just so you have an idea.
So no, I'm in favor of this, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
I agree with you, Commissioner. I also like the improvements in the back. It's always been something that we should strive to do, is clean up the back sides of some of the buildings there. And what you proposed is very nice.
Thank you.
Any other commissioners? Commissioner Fox.
I want to jump on your, the cleanup in the back, with all the Saturday, at least during the good weather, with the flea market and the Saturday concerts, which I went to the last Saturday. A lot of people attended that one anyway. And I think we might, I don't know if, you know, kind of move that up in our priorities a little bit to really get those back facades cleaned up. And this is a good step.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Yes.
Just a quick question for the town planner. If the language says that the easement goes away for any changes, or is it strictly just if the building is demolished? I mean, like, if you have he has a flower shop, say there's a flower shop there, they need the access. Well, you know, 3 years from now, it becomes a bakery. Does that take the easement away, or is that something that can be?
Yeah, the recommendation from the town engineer was it's only for demolition of the ramp or demolition of the building. So again, yes, if something comes in, of course, it would benefit from that, especially the way it's kind of been designed. It has a larger entrance. It has an area out there that people can actually, you know, enjoy, compared to just putting a ramp right up against the building. The way it is now with just asphalt kind of going into that. So yes, it is very limited to that, and that's something that the town attorney would work with the town manager to flush out the final language of the easement.
I think it's a great idea.
Any other questions? thank you very much. It was a fantastic presentation, and I'm very happy with what you're proposing.
Appreciate that.
Okay, the next thing we have on the agenda is an 8-24 for the installation of a digital monitoring sign, monument sign at 1485 Main Street, Firehouse Company 1. Why don't we go into staff report and then we can go from there.
So this is the applicant, again, the same 824 rules apply, the 35 days to report to council, whether recommending it or not recommending. The town engineer performed a survey of the site to locate the sign. So we have that location. The applicant, again, is proposing an electronic message center in conjunction with a monument sign, so it'll be mounted. Because typically, as written in the staff memo, that per the zoning regulations, we do not allow electronic message centers. However, that municipal property is exempt from the zoning regulations, and that's why it's in front of you, in front of an 824. Other than that, the applicant is here to kind of discuss the sign. They did provide some pictures, which should be in the packet as well. We have additional information as far as the EMC. Talk about their proposal, which they also did include their grant proposal, which expressed the need for the sign.
Yeah, the applicant can come forward. Absolutely.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. My name is Craig Stegmeyer. I'm Deputy Chief of Personnel and Community Engagement for the Fire Department. A while ago, we applied for the SAFER grant, which is a federal grant which helps paid departments enhance their staffing as well as helps volunteers with different recruitment methods. We were awarded the grant and for the sign. So the sign that's going to sit outside of Company 1, 70% of the time has to be used for recruitment of new members. 30% of the other time that it's used, it could be used for emergency management, safety messages like for our fire prevention team. We are planning on being good neighbors. So the sign, we want the sign shut off completely at 10 p.m. So we're definitely cognizant of our neighbors. This sign will also help us. Right now, our ISO rating for the fire department is a class 3. We're shooting for very close to getting a class 2. Getting a class 2 will make our fire department one of, actually the only volunteer fire department in the state with a class 2, one of 4 in the entire New England area. So that hits upon points for the community engagement piece. So that's. Yeah, it's very, with the area towns, everybody is seeing a drop in volunteerism. We are been very lucky with Chief Stegmeyer's program as far as recruiting. You see the autism fire truck, that's part of the recruitment, even though it's a fundraiser, but it does attract a lot of attention when we bring it to different functions. We've been trying to bring functions around different areas of town so that, different groups of people, touch those people to hopefully get them to spark interest in joining us and keeping our numbers strong. And with strong numbers, we'll get good ratings because our training numbers will be up. Our fire response numbers, as far as membership on the scene, that goes up, and that all ties very, very heavily into the ISO rating. And with a good ISO rating, it drops the insurance rates to every homeowner and business owner in the town. Again, the chief said, we've already talked with the zoning officials about keeping it off at night. And it's the sign company assures us that that can be programmed in to be done automatically. So it's not anything that we have to do. It can be dimmed down if we have any issues, we can adjust the dimness or brightness of the sign. And I think it'll dress up the front of the firehouse. Normally we put like a 4x8 poster board up on 2 stakes, and that's kind of right where the sign's going to be going now. So it's not like something new is appearing there. It's just something different, and it'll allow
the town, as the chief said, 30% of the time if we need to use it for other things, emergency messages for storms or getting messages out to the public quickly.
Okay, very good. I'm glad to see that you're gonna shut it off at 10 o'clock. That was one of our, well, it was one of my questions. I think that's a good thing to do. This has been a while. Commissioner Woods remembers when this is, came up a long time ago. Maybe Commissioner Fox might remember, but we had, at one time, we had the library proposing something similar and, very lengthy conversation. It was killed. I think this is a good idea. Is it, are you having it on a brick monument or something?
I
Okay.
believe if you look, that is the exact rendering of what we're proposing.
So we have these, we have a sign memo, maybe Commissioner Woods remembers it, where town signs should comply with certain things. And one of the things is the top of the sign should be like colonial. In Rocky Hill, there's one near the town center, which has something similar to this, but then it has this colonial thing, which says Rocky Hill at the top. Would you object to doing something like that?
No, I mean, that was just the rendering. We
Yep.
wanted to keep it clean.
Yep.
We didn't want to bring a lot of attention to the neighborhood.
And we wanted it to match the
kind of
firehouse.
fit in,
Mhm.
and we wanted to fit in with the firehouse design also. But
Mhm.
if that was a stipulation by this commission, I mean.
I'll see what
obviously- Obviously, we can go back to the sign company. I'm sure that they've done more than one with a different top on it.
I'm sure we're gonna possibly see something else come down the road, so that we have to take that into consideration too. I'll let Commissioner Woods or any other commissioners have any comments.
I have a question regarding the colonial top.
Mhm.
I drive by Newington High School a couple times a day and
Yeah.
You're right, it doesn't
they don't
have it.
have one, so,
No, you're right.
I mean, is that something, if it's in
Well-
the language, does it need to be retrofit or can we make a?
Well, that sign got put up and,
Very controversial.
yeah,
Let's
very
just put it that
controversial.
way.
But I love the idea of this sign. I think it's excellent. I think the way, the rendering you have now, it's like you said, like the chief said, it's clean. It matches the front of the firehouse, even with, the white roof. If you need to put the little colonial thing on, yeah, we could, but I don't think it needs it.
Well, we have this memo that we're supposed to adhere to for all town signs.
No.
I have asked them to dig it up. They haven't found it yet. Do you recall?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Congregational Church in the center of town, that's what it is. And if you actually look at the Episcopal Church, that's right down the street from you, there's a smaller sign, but our two signs are identical as far as the top goes. But I think you don't have to put it on like the back portion of the sign, above, I guess where it says.
Just above the
Newington?
logo.
Just the
Yeah,
white-
logo.
Where
Where you're at, yeah. You
So
know,
that would
but,
have to be
yeah, I think that would work.
Because the other piece is the actual sign.
Mhm.
I mean, I get the design objects. I know you've, the sign coming into Newington on the right, coming down Cedar Mountain, you see it.
I mean, it was important that it was a brick bottom. It needed to be not a faux brick, it needed to be a real brick bottom, which I'm assuming you're doing.
Yeah.
And then if you can get the top, which is easy to do.
Yes, yeah, that's not a big deal. Yeah, I don't think they've adhered to it, but I think we should bring it back and try to adhere to it if the commissioners are in favor of it. Commissioner Fox.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, Tom, I think they did a great job on designing that. As far, I think it, like, Commissioner Havens had mentioned it. That looks nice. We're always looking for the colonial thing. And the late Commissioner Bill Carissio used to make a little fun of it. I think there was a, when we did the PD on Willard Avenue near the school, he wanted to see the pineapples and the dog houses. But the building itself is not colonial. And even the old firehouse is, close, but, kind of neo-colonial. I like that pretty good. I like the other one, yours. It's nice and clean. And I think you'll remember when you first got on, I was already there, and we always had this 4x8. I think I got one from one of the people that we put up, you know, just like we did for the flower sale, it was like, it was like, hey, come on, look at the junk we have. And so this would be a 1,000% improvement, and I will definitely be in favor of it.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Commissioner Fox. Any other comments from commissioners? Commissioner Woods?
Back to the planner. Why 8-24? It's not a parking lot. It's not a substantial change to the property. Is it just because it's a LED sign?
Basically, it would be considered a significant improvement. Yes, it's a special exception elsewhere. So it's under the.
Significant improvement is what we're hanging our hat. Okay. I don't know if I agree with that, but at least.
Council Senate.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, I'm in favor of it.
Yeah. Commissioner,
I'm in favor of it as well, just for the point that they brought up about the ISO number. If this really goes to help us increase our ISO number, that's great. And that's, that'll pay for itself.
Anything that we can do to keep our membership strong will help us achieve our goal as chief officers to bring that ISO number to reach that goal. And that's our mission this year.
So, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
And I'm in favor of the 10 o'clock. I think that's a good idea, except for times of emergencies. You know, I don't know how we word that, but I think we need to get that in there that, because you're gonna want it on.
Oh, yeah,
And I wanna make sure you're able to have it on. I don't want someone to say that I don't like that, you know? And maybe it's automatic in an emergency situation, but I don't want
That
to.
we'll have control over, like an override.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact electronic piece of this, but we were told by the vendor that we can adjust the dimming. It can be set to go off at a certain time every day and go back on, you know, probably at 6 a.m, say. And again, we were just trying to be upfront with this and do it the right way. And, you know, we went for the grant, and I'd hate to waste the opportunity of achieving that grant money.
Then congratulations on securing that grant money.
absolutely. I think everybody's in favor of this, so I don't think there's any problems.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Just as an aside, I'm sure Chief Stegmeyer is responsible for this. You might have noticed some signs on the major highways, like Main Street, in front of my house. Do you have what it takes? You know, as a recruitment. And I don't know if you've gotten any responses from that. But
Actually,
that's another great idea.
yeah, we've been doing door hangers. We've been doing those small yard signs for people, and we have gotten a lot. Actually, the fire department now is twice the size of Weathersfield, Rocky Hill, and Berlin. So we are pretty successful in our recruitment. We have a constant flow of applicants coming in. So our community engagement strategy is working, and this is just another piece to really tie it all in.
Thank you.
Good.
Mr. Chairman, we did bring up one of the town signs, just so you.
Yeah.
Maybe if you guys want that, they could reduce that top piece to just that piece over their logo. I don't know if that fits
I
the
mean,
spirit.
Yes, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
One of those video walls that we saw on the other Rock Hill sign.
When I brought up the Newington
What's
signs.
in the middle of that? Because I don't know if
The whole
that,
slope.
that space is, I don't know if it's big enough to.
We got to tie it all in.
Actually, the sign at the Episcopal Church is about the size of the top of your sign where your logo is. So if you take a look at that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll have you work with staff on it. I'm sure Eric and the staff can, Paul can guide you on what it
They've
should
been
look like.
actually great so far. Working with the new town engineer has been, you know, he spent a lot of time with us, surveying the property to get the proper format to apply here.
Very good. Commissioner Havens.
Quick question for either of the chiefs. You'd said that as per the grant, it has to be 70-30 recruitment versus non-recruiting messages. To piggyback off what Commissioner Woods had asked, would that still be mandated if if it's not your normal operating time of 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. for the sign? If in an emergency use from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., would it just be the message, or would that affect in any way the 70-30?
I would say that we would be able to document the majority use of our sign is as it was directed from the grant. But in a time of, if we have a hurricane or a blizzard coming through, and if we run the storm, I hardly think FEMA is going to be running down Main Street and saying, oh, your sign's not displaying the right message.
You always had a good sense of humor, Tom.
Any other questions from commissioners? Very good. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So, we are on old business. I'll entertain a motion for the, petition, 8-24 on 1042 Main Street.
Approve, the 8-24 referral for the, digital sign on Main Street in front of the firehouse. And, with the recommendation that the one thing. The recommendation that if we report to the council, the recommendation of approving, staff recommends that the commission suggests that the fire department monitor conditions of the neighboring residents and rectify as needed, and any other suggestions from the commission. Reasons for the commendation, it does not conflict with the POCD.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
Do we want to add the hours of operation on that, or that the hours of operation will be
6 to 10 PM.
6 to 10, unless an emergency? Is that acceptable to the maker and the seconder?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Motion carries. We will move that forward to the council with a positive recommendation. The next petition on old business is the site plan. Is that the site plan for, no?
You kind of went out of order. We went out of order. We did C, Dominic. Mr. Chairman, we did C first.
We did C first.
We didn't do the municipal lot.
No, we did C first?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, when we want to do,
We'll do A.
A. 8-24 referral on 1042 Main Street. Motion?
Make a motion to approve 824 referral for an easement over a portion of the municipal parking lot in the rear of 1042 Main Street. The commission reports to the council with a recommendation of granting the easement. Staff recommends that the commission suggests the inclusion of language about the maintenance and termination of the easement be included within the final easement documents. Reason for the recommendation: this referral does not conflict with the POCD.
Okay, very good. Do I have a second? Motion made and seconded. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye.
Language, though. Do we need to get the language in there in our motion?
I think the way it was recommended was discussed during that, and the language about termination and about maintenance. I think, yes, at the end of the day, it'll be the town attorney and the
Okay.
manager.
They will be reviewed, approved.
Very good. We voted, all those in favor, right? Yeah, we're all set. So we'll move that forward to the council, and then petition 12-23, if somebody could entertain that motion.
Motion to approve petition 12-23 site plan modification to improve building access at 1042 Main Street. Applicant owner contact Peter Venoros. Staff recommends that the application be tabled. Well, we're not tabling this, are we?
Yeah.
Okay. Staff recommends that the application be tabled while the 824 report is being received by the town council pending their action.
We'll take action on this after the council comes back with a positive, moves it forward, and then we'll act on your site plan. But everything looks very good. Thank you.
Will I have to come back to present?
No, you won't have to come back to present it.
The presentation's been made.
Staff will handle it with you. They'll contact you.
Yes, the vote, is there a second on the table and a vote?
Yeah, motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded, and all those in favor? Aye. Very good. Motion is approved. Okay, we're at the section where there's petitions for public hearing scheduling, whether or not the town planner wants to talk about those.
So item A is the banquet hall petition that we talked about during the previous, when we had the applicant who came in under pre-application. So that has been submitted for council of government review. So there's that time frame that needs to be submitted. It'll be published, put forward. Again, it's just adding in the use in that zone and adding in the definition of the use as banquet hall. The other petition is a childcare facility at 41 West Hartford. A childcare facility has existed in the past, had shut down, expired, so they're coming back. So that those will require public hearing schedule.
Thank you. Any questions for?
Excuse me,
Certainly.
Mr. Planner, did you say the childcare facility that was there was shut down?
Well, it wasn't shut down by anyone else. It was just discontinued.
The operator left or whatever, and a new operator's taking over, and she came in and I had to tell her that the permit had lapsed. The prior one did not renew it as she was required to do, so.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions, we'll have the town planner's report is next.
Yep, so just returning from vacation, I don't have a comprehensive report. My plan is to have one at the next meeting for you for the status of the current projects out there and what's going on. And I am working on, again, reviewing the drive-throughs as we discussed at the last meeting and putting together a small report for the commission.
Is the engineer working on New Britain Avenue?
Yes, we're working on those together. It's New Britain Avenue and then Stoddard and Maine. Those two we're looking at right now, looking at the extents of them, and we plan to have some public outreach hopefully soon with them once we get everything dialed in.
Any questions from staff? Everybody received communications. We have CROG letters. Is there any questions for staff concerning the CROG letters? None. We'll move on to public participation. If there's anybody online or if there's anybody in the room within the Zoom application, raise your hand if you'd like to participate during public participation. If calling in by Zoom meeting by telephone, *9 to raise your hand to be recognized, or use *6 recognized to speak by phone, telephone. Please come forward if you have something you'd like to say.
Quick question. The last 3 meetings, and I haven't seen Anthony Claffey here. Is he, is there a reason for him to be missing the last 3 meetings in a row?
We don't have questions back and forth. Just please state your.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to, because I know there's a certain amount of, if you miss a certain amount of meetings, then you can be taken off the committee. And like I said, I've been here the last 3 meetings in a row and he hasn't been here. So I would just like an answer to, is it health reasons? I'm just kind of curious as to why he missed the last 3 in a row.
I believe he had business conflicts of interest where he was working. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's
Very good. Thank you, Bob.
That's all.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
No one online has their hand raised, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very good. Any remarks from commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Fox.
I was having a meeting like this, 7:35, 7:38, and we had the applications as well prepared as we had tonight. Thank you, gentlemen. And in the meantime, have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much, everybody, and good night.